Local first responders and city officials came together this morning to honor the memory of those that served during 9/11 22 years ago.
Our first responders leave their families every day to serve their community. No matter what the call for service may be, they respond to those in need. They run to danger as others run away. On September 12th, 2001, our country woke up angry that evil attacked us on our soil. For the next days, weeks, months, we watched our country come together and stand strong as one nation.
Sheriff Paulk compared how our community came together after the recent hurricane and how the country came together after 9/11.
It did change law enforcement. I think one of the best examples I've seen of what it changed was last couple of weeks. This county has the worst destruction I've ever seen in my life, and I've been here all my life, and that's quite a few years, as y'all know. But it was so seamless the way everybody in the fire department, everybody in the sheriff's office, the police department, all the departments, it just seemed like it was one group of people.
Colonel Ben Rodolfi, Vice Wing Commander at Moody Air Force Base, discussed the sacrifice that first responders made on that day years ago.
Today we stand as one family. We reflect on the significance of September the 11th, a day that reminds us of the fragility of life and the resilience we carry as citizens of this great nation. We remember not only the innocent lives lost, but also the courageous first responders that rushed towards peril with no hesitation, sacrificing their own lives to ensure the safety of fellow Americans.
And welcome back to City Focus. I'm Marcus McConico, the media coordinator with the City of Valdosta. And today I am sitting with Angela Bray. She is
I am the Stormwater and Arbor Manager for the City of Valdosta.
And if people don't know, we just came through a crazy hurricane.
Huge hurricane, yes.
That's probably been the worst storm in the history of this city. And that has kept your department, your area very, very busy.
Very busy.
Tell us, I guess, what you guys did before the hurricane came through.
Okay, so our department, I manage Stormwater and Arbor Division. So in the Arbor Division, we inspect, we trim trees, we make sure that all of our right-of-way and public trees are healthy. And then in Stormwater, every single day we are out in the field inspecting all of our storm pipes, our catch basins, removing blockages, clearing clogs. We bust beaver dams within the city. Amazingly, we have a ton. So immediately before the storm comes in, we prepare super hard.
Mm-hmm.
We do that on every single day.
Yeah.
However, we bust all the beaver dams, go to all of our hot spots, try to clear out all the grates, and the local communities, especially focus on those hot spots that normally, may have potential to flood.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go through and check all of our drainage canals to make sure that the water can flow through properly. However, in this case, with the hurricane, we were unfortunate in some areas.
Now, I spent most of my time during the hurricane at the EOC, which you were there also.
Correct.
But before I went to the EOC, and it was probably 5:45 that morning, I saw your guys at the stormwater office getting ready to go out.
Right.
You have a limited crew, but I guess during the storm, what did you do? And then immediately after, what did those guys go, what were their responsibilities?
Okay, so I have, including Stormwater and Arbor, 16 guys for the entire city. And we have a lot of infrastructure, we have a lot of trees. So what we do is the day before, we make sure all of our equipment, our chainsaws, our chains, our bars, our backhoes, all of our trucks are gassed up and ready to go, and we're prepared right when we come in. So it was mandatory for everybody to come in at 6. My guys were there at 5. Basically waiting on the storm to come in. Everything was already checked and done, previously in the prior days before the storm. And so during the storm, I'm sitting at the EOC. So my job is to basically sit next to 911 and all the calls coming through that residents are making and citizens, trees down, lines down, flooding, blocking, water being blocked up in the road. They all come through 911. Hopefully, most of the time it should be through the non-emergency 911 call, which I think a lot of citizens were confused on, and that's something that we're going to try to do better next time, as far as getting that non-emergency dispatch number out to the citizens instead of calling directly 911. However, when all those calls come in, I input everything down into an Excel spreadsheet so we can have documentation. And then I dispatch all the guys. So I'm dispatching not only stormwater and arbor, but I dispatch traffic because we need barricades. When trees are down, signals were on the ground. So that is my job at the EOC, is basically to dispatch all the crews. Sometimes obviously Public Works too, but they're more used after the storm. But I dispatch as soon as a call comes in. I call the supervisor or the crew leaders and then get them out there to, see and fix the problem.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize we're telling everybody to stay in, but fire and police are still running calls. And if a tree goes down, your guys are trying to clear that road for emergency to get to these calls.
Yes. Yeah, so we are like clearing the roads and making sure. We had a lot of priority calls come in where paramedics, needed to get people to the hospital. So we have priority routes, our state routes, anywhere around the hospital, all those roads have to be cleared out first. So we focus on those areas and all the fire departments so that we can make sure that emergency responders can get out to the citizens if needed. We even had to rescue people, from, an apartment flooding. So basically I'm dispatching, and we worked the storm 14 hours that day, trying to get caught up. We did cut it off at nighttime because just for safety purposes, running chainsaws and equipment and things. And really after doing the assessment and the drive-through, we couldn't get through maybe only 10% of the city because every tree had a power line in it. And that's what a lot of people don't know, is that the city can't go anywhere near a down tree with a power line in it.
That's at that point it becomes a Georgia Power issue until they can come and make sure that line doesn't have power.
Which what I learned also, which I didn't know until now or after the storm, is that Georgia Power comes in and you see like 300 plus like lineman trucks at the old high school ready to go. However, Georgia Power has to do a 100% assessment of all trees before they can go in and actually start cutting. So we didn't really start moving trees out of power lines until midday Thursday, which was the day after the storm. But what my guys could do was move anything and any trees that didn't have lines in them, which, to be honest with you, 90% of the trees were in power lines.
And my street alone, the little street I live on, had 4 trees on it. And every last one of them were in a power line. Now, afterwards, your guys, I've seen them out there working. I've seen them working catty corner to us at Drexel Park. I've seen them working in creeks on backhoes, chainsaws. Just talk about the hard-working guys in arbor and stormwater and what they've done the last 2 weeks.
They are machines. They are driven, and they are amazing group of guys to work with. They never cease to amaze me, but working with them through the storm, I have seen so much more out of them and what they can do for the city. We have actually moved way faster than what I thought we would. Because of we did have a lot of contractors come in and a lot of volunteers, but our guys after the storm, our main focus is to clear all the major drainage canals. So you have like 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, Sugar Creek. So, and we also want to make sure that we check all the culverts and the bridges to make sure that they are intact and not compromised. So we have to inspect as well as we're clearing and cleaning. So we've rented excavators, and every piece of machinery that we have has been on the road every day since the storm, removing all these trees, because trees in these large drainage canals, they weren't there before.
Yeah.
You might have one or two fallen. However, just the stretch on 1 Mile Branch, I would say was probably 2 football field lengths, was over 75 trees in just that short span, which caused flooding.
That's crazy.
To a subdivision. So we have to prepare, we've moved past the storm and we've got to prepare for the next rain event. So going out there, I felt like, wow. I mean, for days I was like, where do we start? Where do we begin? For so long, and it took a toll on myself, because I felt like we had to start all over, because we had such a great system, and everything was clean and cleared, and then now every single thing is starting from scratch, and it's going to take us a while to get there. We've done a lot in 2.5 weeks. However, we've still got months ahead of us. Our goal is to go through every single valve drainage canal that we have, not only the major canals, but the residential ditches, and try and clear those as well.
Do you have any numbers on the things you've cleared so far?
We've done a lot of work. So I know roughly, just looking through, I've dispatched them out to just stormwater and arbor alone, 183 calls. Probably way more than that because they get direct calls themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've pretty much cleared, I would say, probably 50% of the major drainage canals. 1 mile, 2 mile. We've been working on Sugar Creek. Some may have seen us, on Bay Tree. We had to close Bay Tree to inspect that bridge and to remove the log jam that was basically had built a dam under the
we're on
pilings.
River Street this week.
River Street did fail. The road collapsed. The shoulder did, so it kind of undermined a section of the road. So we went in and we worked on that and opened that road up on Tuesday. So not only, are we in the rivers, creeks, drainage, area,
It's all
we
infrastructure.
build roads and sidewalks, and my guys do it all. We have the equipment, and like I said, I have a great group of guys that are very versatile, and they're a lot of heavy equipment operators, so they know what they're doing. And they're utilized in every aspect that, we can hurry up and get the city back to normal.
Yeah. And I know you can't call out all the names, but what do you want to say to those guys? I know you've thanked them personally, but here's a chance for you to do it on camera that everybody would see. But what do you say to those guys? Because, I have a newfound respect for not only your guys, but all the engineering guys, all the utilities guys, public works guys. They've been busting their butts. For 2 weeks, and it's going to continue for a while.
Yes, it will. We have weeks and months ahead of us to get us back to where we were. But I really, to be honest with Marcus, I have no words because I even get emotional sometimes thinking about how amazing that these guys are. And, not only do we have to work through the storms, but they put their families, they left their families and they sacrificed their time away for the city. And that is, just amazing and remarkable for them to care so much to come in and do the work that they do, and they enjoy it. My guys, they will say they live for stormwater and arbor, and they have a passion for it. So yes, I not only thank my guys for all the hard work and continued efforts that they're doing, but also utilities and public works, and especially the fire and police, because they're right there beside us.
Absolutely.
But yes, we are definitely working hard and trying to get the city back to normal, and it's right now, we just ask that citizens be patient.
Patience is the key.
It is very much so the key. Everybody was super compassionate the first week, and now it's like, okay, hurry up, what are you guys doing? But there are so many calls and so much more to get done. It's hard to, meet everybody's needs. Of course, I reach out to everybody that's called in, and at least, and most everybody is, okay, we totally understand. But we do have to prioritize, our work orders that we do, and obviously anything like Madison Highway, we had an issue over there where we had to go in and clip the shoulder because the road was failing as well, which we did yesterday. So we do have to prioritize bridges, roads, canals, because essentially in stormwater, our job is to make sure to prevent flooding,
Absolutely.
not only from, the city right away and roads, but private property owners. I mean,
neighborhoods,
we
yeah.
don't, yeah, we absolutely want everything to work as it should, so your homes don't get flooded.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you know, unfortunately it happened. However, you know, also when we had over 8 inches in a short amount of time during the storm. And when that happens, you know, our system just can't handle it.
Too much water going in.
When you see that flash flood warning,
Yeah.
be prepared, because it's coming and it's going to happen. And that flash flood warning is because, you know, the rivers and creeks are only so big, and the canals, and they're gonna spill over, and they're gonna go onto private property. And like the major roads, I know we've had several complaints about Ashley Street flooding, and however, what people don't understand is that those are not our roads. Those
Yeah,
are
those are state-
GDOT.
those are
Those are
state
GDOT
highways.
state highways. So trust me, my pet peeve too is Ashley Street and Gornto. However, I can't do anything about it because I can't. That's not my infrastructure to touch.
Yeah.
We are aware that it floods there. We've received several calls, even in, you know, just a summer rainstorm event,
Exactly.
it floods. Not necessarily just when a hurricane comes through, but it'll flood on a regular Tuesday afternoon storm. But we do get a lot of those calls. However, I do forward those to the state, so we can keep pounding them.
Well, Angela, I want to thank you and thank all your guys for the work that they've done in last 2 weeks. It's I've seen them out there. It's incredible what they're doing, the extra time and hours they're putting away working for the citizens of this city and the visitors that come here too. And you know, guys like that is. I'm proud to call them coworkers.
Right.
But I appreciate you coming on. I know
Thank
you're really
you.
busy and taking the time to come here. But
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you asking me to come here and to give me an opportunity to, you know, tell everybody and my team thank them, and they're a great team to have and to work for, and I'm definitely proud to manage every single one of them.
thank you thank you for coming on again, and we'll be back here on City Focus.
I'll see y'all.
After a basketball game, a black teenage boy, Brandon, reads this text in his family group chat. Auntie Flo, congrats on the big win. Mom, that's my baby. Brandon replies, thanks y'all. In a park, his sister Maya texts, where are we celebrating? Dad replies, home. Mom texts, I got dinner going. Auntie Flo replies, ooh, I can't wait, then receives a FEMA flood watch text alert. She texts the family, anyone see that weather alert? We need a plan to stay safe, especially after last year. Ready has a list of resources at ready.gov/plan. In his workshop, Dad sends a photo of emergency supplies and texts, looks like we need flashlights and batteries. Leaving a store with a shopping bag, Brandon replies, I got us covered. Mom texts, I'll check in with Grandma and Papa. Maya texts, thanks Auntie, feeling good about this plan.
I got some batteries and 2 flashlights.
So challenging. Feel like you get taller every time I see you.
Stay connected.
Congratulations, Brandon.
My name is Gary Parker. I served as a Cavalry Scout and a military policeman in the United States Army for 20 years. When I was a Cavalry Scout, we had a young lieutenant that came in, great guy, but he moved on, got promoted to lieutenant colonel, went on to Afghanistan, and I was able to keep in contact. And I'd wake up one morning, go on social media, and there's that post you don't want to see. For whatever reason, he took his own life. Nobody knows why he did it, and if there's something that we could have done to prevent it from happening. Safe gun storage can prevent gun suicide because it's that added step to get to your firearm that might just give somebody a moment of reflection on what they're doing. As a veteran, we need to be ambassadors to people that don't have the knowledge that we have. Anytime you're not storing a weapon safely, you're putting yourself and your community at risk. Service never stops.
Every day that I come in, I know that the people that I work with are willing to do exactly for me what I would do for them. Other occupations, they have coworkers, we have partners, and that's for a reason.
Fire. Throughout my career, I've seen this department grow immensely over the years through training, personnel, equipment, and the volume of our calls. Our department now responds to more than 73,000 calls for service each year. Our department offers so many different paths for an officer to take as they navigate through their career at the Valdosta Police Department. We equip our officers with the best training, the best gear, and all the support they need to be successful.
I chose this department because my husband will be retiring here from the military, and so it just gave me an opportunity to start my career, and pay rate is higher than other departments. Benefits, the equipment that they provide, duty belt, vehicles, training throughout the year, it's great.
The reason I chose Valdosta Police Department is I was already in the area from working with the Air Force at Moody Air Force Base. After my enlistment was up, I got in contact with our IA lieutenant. She dropped the bug in my ear, said she'd think I'd be a good cop. And it just stuck with me. So I came and applied. They said they'd be happy to have me. I said I'd be happy to work for you.
Valdosta dispatch to 7139 and all available units. We have an active shooter situation at 206 39th Avenue. We have a barricaded subject with possible hostages.
As an accredited law enforcement agency, the Valdosta Police Department is always operating at the highest level of national law enforcement standards. We are always advancing and improving our capabilities.
One of the things that took me by surprise was the training I received at the Academy on mental health people. It's something that we don't think about, but we encounter on a daily. And I feel like the training we received really prepared me. The best part about working as a police officer would be making an impact in people's lives. Helping victims get out of situations, providing them with resources available to them.
A lot of people say they have families in the workplace. A lot of people try to posture themselves as a family. To me, a family is doing whatever's necessary, whatever cause, for whomever, that you call that family member. Being an officer is the closest thing to having an outside family as I can find. There's a moment that typically happens that lets me know I've done my job well, and that's when I arrest somebody, put them in the back of my police car, and then on the way to the jail, they thank me. They know that they've done wrong, and they respect the job that you've done. That typically is what makes me proud.
At the Valdosta Police Department, we will put our officers up against any in the country. We have great community involvement. Our officers are in the community every day, building great relationships, great partnerships to work together to keep this community safe.
We take community policing to the next level. Our officers are constantly out in the community, whether it be crime prevention efforts, community events, or neighborhood walks aimed at meeting the residents of Valdosta.
There are many opportunities within the department to move around, meaning you do not have to stay as a patrolman. You can always move up.
There's so much experience that you'll get in your first few years here that will set you up for the other departments that we have in the PD, be it K-9 detective, narcotics detective, our para squad unit. That foundation is going to be built so early on because we have amazing supervisors from top to bottom. We make it our business to mold good cops because that's who's going to be watching our backs.
As we continue to see growth in our community and our region, the Valdosta Police Department continues to prepare and evolve into a regional response law enforcement agency.
We're so fortunate to live in a community that respects and takes pride in the work of our officers each day. We're proud to serve in the Valdosta community.
I'm so proud of the work that our officers do each and every day to put the Valdosta Police Department on the map. This department is truly second to none.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just
just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kitchen now.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The Neighborhood Development Division cut the ribbon on its newest CDBG rebuild on John Street.
I'm just happy and thanking the Lord, honey, because without God, it wouldn't even be. So I'm happy.
We're blessed too.
Thank you.
The Henrys waited for a while for their new home, but thanked city staff for all the work that was put into getting their new home completed.
It was rotten. The whole house was rotten. So we went down to the city. In the city, they had this new program, and they helped us get on it, and we was qualified, and here we go. The results, a new house. Everything was great because Richard knew exactly what to do and how to do it, and he did that.
They have just one piece of advice for those in need of a new home.
Go down to the city and see Mr. Joyner.
For more information about the CDBG program, contact the Neighborhood Development Division.
Good morning. I'm Mayor Scott James Matheson, Mayor of the City of Valdosta, the very hard-hit City of Valdosta, and the County of Lowndes as well. I think I've been doing a good job sending people to the right place for assistance post-storm, post-Idalia, but to just be sure, we have brought the experts. Help has arrived, both FEMA and the SBA. Good morning, ladies.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good. Best way to direct them is to the Civic Center?
That's definitely one of the big ways to go to us. We are at the Civic Center 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we really encourage people to come out to the Civic Center if they suffer damage as a direct result of Hurricane Idalia and you live in Lowndes County. You can also obviously come to the Civic Center if you live in the other affected counties as well, Glenn and Cook counties. But this is just your one-stop shop to meet with someone face-to-face. A lot of people prefer that human interaction. And when you come there, you can start the registration process if you haven't already. You can ask questions about the process. You can upload additional documentations. I always like to tell people that, FEMA is a piece of the puzzle. We are certainly not the entire piece. It really takes the local governments like yourself. It takes the nonprofits, and the Small Business Administration is truly a big partner in this, and they are also present at the Disaster Recovery Center, and they can help survivors too, as well as businesses.
It was amazing to watch the army of people, volunteers and otherwise, show up in our community. We were blessed to have them all, but when FEMA and the SBA arrived, that was another sigh of relief.
Thank you so much. So yes, I do want to mention from the SBA, Small Business Administration, we're not only in town to help businesses of any size, but homeowners and renters and private nonprofits as well. So we just want to encourage everyone while we are in town, please go to the Civic Center 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. to speak with someone in person. If you received a letter and you don't understand the letter, we just encourage people to go get answers, ask any questions that you would like, and we're here for the community to start the recovery process throughout this storm.
We very much appreciate the outreach. Again, the Civic Center on Highway 84 East is your one-stop shop. They're waiting for you to hold your hand and walk you through this sometimes complicated process.
The City of Valdosta's Traffic Division is working hard to get the traffic light working at the Oak Street and Brookwood intersection. Safety is a priority for the work.
First of all, we want to do as quickly as possible for the safety of the public. A lot of citizens still are not familiar with the four-way stop when the intersection is dark or down completely. Currently, a lot of the citizens that travel through this intersection stop, but unlike the one right there behind me, he just drove through without stopping. So that's one of the reasons we want to work as quickly as possible to go ahead and get this intersection back up.
There is no hard time frame to complete the work, but getting everything correct the first time is important.
We got to make sure we do it correctly because we have to run all new wire. We have to run the wire through the conduits across the road and back into the signal cabinet. So all the old wire that's currently there, we have to pull that back out in order to run the new wire. So we want to do it safely as possible, because once we turn the power back onto the cabinet and the signal, we want to come up working correctly. All the data is still inside of our controller, so we don't have to worry about reprogramming anything. So the biggest expense we will incur is going to be running of the signal span wire. But after that, the work will be done by our employees that's currently working here for the city.
After contractors complete their portion of the job, city employees will finish the project.
Behind me, we have crews working, trying to get the light reinstalled. The reason it's taking a little bit longer than usual, we're having to work with one of our contractors because we have new poles set. Now we have to run the span wire to connect the 4 poles. Once the 4 span wires are connected, we'll be able to go ahead and start hanging all the signal heads and equipment to get this light back up operational. That, unless they took it out, which I don't think they.
In addition to working on traffic lights, the traffic division is also working on school zone flashers in the aftermath of the hurricane.
As most people are aware, we have just went through a storm that took down a lot of our signals, infrastructure, pine trees, and currently we have 3 school zone flashers that's not working. We're in the process of trying to order the parts that we need to get those repaired. One intersection is Valdosta Middle School. We have mid-block crossing flashers that's down. We've ordered batteries and they've been on order now for roughly 3 weeks, so we're trying to get those in.
There are 3 school zones being worked on, and safety of kids, crossing guards, and drivers are paramount in getting these flashers working.
Valdosta Middle School, which is located on Patterson. We have St. John's Catholic School, which is located over on Gornto, and we have W.G. Nunn over on Park Avenue and Barack Obama. The safety of the kids and crossing guards are very mindful of us, so that's why we're working as quickly as possible to try to get those 3 school zones repaired.
For more information, contact the traffic division. And welcome back here on City Focus. This week we have as our guest Anthony Musgrove. He is the Public Works Director in the City of Valdosta. First, we're going to talk a little bit. First of all, Anthony, thank you for coming on, taking the time. I know you're a super busy man,
yes,
particularly the last month or so. Right. But we have one big program that's coming up this coming week that we do jointly with the county. It's the Scrap Tire Program. For those people who don't know about the Scrap Tire Program, let's tell them what it is.
Well, one thing about the Scrap Tire, it's we kind of work in conjunction with Lowndes County. They hold a spring event and we handle the fall event. And this is a great opportunity for any of the citizens inside the city or Lowndes County to come out and they have spare tires or anything that they no longer need. They need a place for disposal and a better way to keep them out of the shed and for, becoming a mosquito habit or, anything like that. We offer this service for them and it's free, and we get reimbursed from GEMA.
And can you talk a little bit about why it's so important that we don't just leave these tires laying around in our community?
One reason we don't like leaving these tires around is, they harbor animals, insects, such as mosquitoes that can, the list goes on. And, it's just a nuisance to the environment. And so this is a great way that people can dispose of it, and it's free to the public.
Okay. Now, if I have tires laying around, I guess, what do I need to do to make sure that you guys would take that tire?
What we do is we ask everyone, to take small tires, car tires, truck tires. They put a brand new set on the truck and they want to keep their old ones for a spare, and then later on they decide they don't want them anymore. They're in the way. They can bring them here. It's a great opportunity. It's free for them for disposal. Don't cost them anything. We do accept small car tires, big car tires, truck tires, and we do not accept any tires that are on the rims.
So you have to take them off the rim, and that's what I was kind of getting at. It's just the tire itself, not the wheel.
Right, it's just the tire itself, not the rims. So any tires that come up there that are still on a rim, we'll have to reject those, and the citizen will have to go and have someone dismount those tires from the rims. Then they can bring them back, and we'll have this open for 2 weeks.
Okay. And what time can I bring them by, and where?
All right. We're located at 1017 Myrtle Street, and it's going to be Monday through Friday, starting the 19th. I'm at the 9th, and it'll go through the 20th.
Okay. And you would just drop them off at Myrtle Street. Was there somebody manning that, or would there be directions?
Right. We will have someone there, and we've got a semi-trailer that's located there at 1017 Myrtle Street, and we'll open up the gates at 7, and we'll shut the gates at 3:30 each day.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got 2 weeks to get rid of our scrap tires, make sure they're not just thrown on the side of the road or sitting in somebody's garage or their yard or whatnot.
That's right.
And I guess you've been doing this with the county. How successful has this program been over the last few years?
It has been very, very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very successful. Every year, we have more and more people get to know that that we're having the event, and so we're getting more and more participation in it.
Okay.
And I would like to add, even though it's free, we do get reimbursed from EPD.
Mm-hmm.
To get things going, we got a grant from EPD. We applied for it, and that's how we started this. And likewise with the county, they do the same program.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, we host it in the fall, and the county hosts it in the spring.
That's right. So great opportunities get to the spring and the fall, and we handle the fall.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you want to add about the scrap tire program before we get into the other stuff?
Yeah. One thing, when we'll have someone there, but once you bring the tires there, we ask that that all the tires be dismounted from the rims,
mm-hmm.
and it only be small car tires, truck tires, things like that. Motorcycle tires, we'll take that, but the little lawnmower tires, we don't
mm-hmm.
take those, or tractor tires, anything like that.
Okay.
Or semi tires.
Okay.
We
gotcha.
won't. Yeah, that's not acceptable there.
Okay.
And when you bring them, we'll have a little staging area, and we'll have everything set up. We'll have someone there because we have to count the tires that goes in to the trailers, and we'll load those tires ourselves. But the citizen have to offload them off of their vehicle.
Off their vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now we've talked about the scrap tire program. The last month or so has been a busy time for you and almost everybody at the city because of the aftermath of the hurricane.
Right.
I guess, can you talk about some of the things that your department has been doing along with other departments in helping get the city cleaned up?
Yes. Well, I've been with the city now for 23 years, and this storm, I have never witnessed a storm of this magnitude. It was a storm of mass, I say, devastation for us,
mm-hmm.
And it was declared. And what we have done, and I say we, Public Works has done in conjunction with all the other departments, and I really would like to say thank you to all the other departments, because it takes all of us
mm-hmm.
to make the city get back on its feet, and that's what we've all been doing, working together. I really like to say thank you to all the other departments that's been helping us out there. Keep the streets clean,
mm-hmm.
the trees and everything cut back for easy passage of everybody, keeping the streets safe. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the big things that we've been doing is Public Works. When the storm hit, it hit that afternoon or mid-morning, and after the storm we kind of shifted our folks from picking up regular yard trash to picking up and clearing streets for storm debris.
Mm-hmm.
And during that we've had to shut down there's just so much material on the ground. We
mm-hmm.
had to shut down our recycle sites, which was
because you just didn't have time to pick it up because your
guys
guys were doing, they were all storm debris.
Right. And then what we did is kind of divided our employees that we had, and we started working 12-hour shifts, 7 to 7 in the morning, and then the other half, they would work from 7 in the afternoon to 7 at night. So we were working 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so our trucks, they never stopped.
Yeah.
They were constantly rolling.
Yeah.
And so just this past Monday, we shut down the night shift because we had Ashbrook come in, and they've been phenomenal with helping us, get the streets back to where they need to be.
Yeah. I know I would go home after I left the office after 5, and if I'm out running errands and stuff, and I'm still seeing your trucks running every day. It's amazing the work that those guys have put in the last 6 weeks or so. And once again, I told Angela Bray, who was in here with me, the same thing. It's like those guys have worked harder than I've ever seen guys work, and your guys are the same way.
Yes. And I got to tell the stormwater crew and utilities and everyone that helped Public Works a big thank you. We couldn't have done what we have done and got it or made it as far as we have without their help. Yeah. They've been phenomenal in helping it. And I can't be any more prouder than my own department. Knock on Public Works there, but I'm proud of all the men and women of Public Works. Every one of them, it's been a daunting task. During the beginning of it, no one, even though our homes were devastated and had trees on them and tore up.
But those guys still went to work every day.
They came in every day, worked those 12-hour shifts, and they didn't take off any. And even though their family, their homes was tore all to pieces, some of them, I shouldn't say tore all to pieces, but they were in.
They had issues too. They live in the community.
Too. That's right. And just where I'm so proud is seeing their willingness to jump in to help, get the city where it needs to be, and knowing that their home was devastated as well. And I just can't say enough for the Public Works Department, the men and women there.
Yeah, and that's what we're here for. We're here to serve that community. I know it's hard to be away from your family at times.
It is.
But we're here to serve the community, and that was their way of serving us. Making sure that stuff, the yard debris and the trees and everything else was cleaned up.
That's right. Yeah, because we all went through the same things. We all had to take baths out of the 5-gallon buckets of water. So I mean. We all went through it together, and we come out and we're still together. Okay. And I think, this storm has brought all the departments together, and anytime we have a situation like this, we all come together, and it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to add about the aftermath of the storm and the work that you guys have in your departments put in since then?
What I would like to add is, we're coming to a close, and we're looking at our contract with Bunyan or Ashbrook. They're coming to a close next week. We're looking at the 12th. It'll be the last day for that group, Ashbrook, to help us out. And then we're going to get back on the 16th. We'll go back to our regular schedule, running Monday through Friday. And then one thing that I would like to remind the public is to look at the city ordinances, because we're going to go back to city ordinances.
Gotcha.
And what I refer to as the city ordinances, you look at chapter 82-33 in the city ordinances, look up under pre-collection, preparation, and look up under 4. Paragraph 4, right there, it specifically outlines the measurements of trees or anything like that. And then the one that everyone, I'd say, is not the most familiar with is paragraph 5. And that's where if any citizen or homeowner that hires a company or a tree surgeon or anything like that comes out and does any trimming, anything like that, that contractor is primarily the responsibility
for removing that.
That's correct, removing all that debris.
Okay. Well, I think that's all I got for you.
I have one other thing, though. I do ask that as people have lawn furniture and things like that have been destroyed or anything, and we we will go back to picking up bulk items and things like that to keep that bulk item
separate
from the yard trash, because everything goes to a different facility.
Gotcha.
And just to keep costs down and everything like that.
So we have to separate the trash or
Right.
bulk trash,
bulk items
from your yard debris. And
all
trees.
and we can call it organic material. That's tree
Yeah.
limbs and
Gotcha.
straw and leaves, things like that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on. I know once again you're a busy person and you're running from place to place. And
yeah, we never stop.
What I always like about Anthony is that he doesn't ask his guys to do anything that he wasn't doing.
Yep.
I've been riding with Anthony and seeing him pick up dead animals off the road. That's the type of person that he is, the type of worker he is. But I want to thank you for coming on and,
Yes, sir.
and taking your time. And we'll be back here on City Focus.